standing at a podium. In modern pedagogy, and specifically within Dewey's systematic structure, the teacher's role has fundamentally shifted. The teacher acts as a facilitator, guide, and coordinator rather than acting as an authoritarian figure. So, your job as a teacher isn't to rule the classroom with an iron fist, it's to coordinate the environment so learning can happen naturally. Remember these keywords for your exam: facilitator and coordinator. Next up is poll number 2, the student. In the tripolar framework, the students remain the central focus of the entire process. But being the focus doesn't mean they are passive listeners, but they are the active participants. Everything in the educational ecosystem is designed around their psychological needs, their development, and their capacity to absorb and process information. Now, here is where Dewey's genius comes in. What connects the teacher and the student? There comes pole number 3, the environment. It could be the structured learning, that is the curriculum, which includes the specific knowledge, skills, and activities planned for the student. And it could be the societal context, which is the broader environment, the culture, the community, and societal needs. Because teaching doesn't happen in a vacuum. A curriculum must reflect what society needs. If you are teaching outdated material that doesn't serve the community, the tripolar system breaks down. Now, coming to the characteristics. Number 1, it is a dynamic and social process. So, teaching isn't static. It, change, it changes depending on the environment, the students, and societal shift. It is deeply social because it involves constant human interaction. Number 2, it is both an art and a science. This is the classic exam question. It's a science because it uses systematic methods, psychology, and logic. It's an art because it requires creative expression, presentation skills, and intuition to connect with students. Number 3, it is a professional activity. Teaching isn't just a casual hobby, it's a specialized profession governed by codes of conduct, specialized training, and pedagogical standards. Number 4, it exists on a continuum from basic memory level training all the way to high level reflective thinking. Teaching moves smoothly across a developmental spectrum. Number 5, it is dominated by communication. Quite simply, if you cannot communicate, you cannot teach. It relies entirely on the effective, clear transfer of verbal and nonverbal information. Number 6, it is a diagnostic and remedial process. Just like a doctor, a teacher first diagnoses where a student is struggling and then provides a remedy, whether through extra classes, simplified notes, or new strategies. Number 7, it is intentionally goal directed. Every lecture has a purpose. Teaching always aims to achieve specific learning outcomes. Number 8, it is measurable and modifiable. We can evaluate teaching outcomes through assessments, and based on the results, teacher can modify their methods for better impact. Now, look at the below provided infographic. Teaching spans three distinct phases: reactive phase, interactive phase, and post-active phase. In pre-active phase, it is the planning stage. It's what you do before entering the classroom, that is, preparing the lesson plan, setting objectives, and organizing content. Number 2, interactive phase. This is the actual execution. The live classroom interaction where the teacher delivers, questions, and engages with the students. And in the post-active phase, it's the evaluation stage. It happens after the class where you assess student learning through test or feedback and reflect on how well the lesson went. Remember this exact sequence for your exam: reactive, interactive, and post-active. Up until now, we have looked at what teaching is and its core characteristics. But now we have to ask the ultimate question: what is the point of it all? What are we actually trying to achieve when we step into a classroom? And here comes the primary objectives of teaching. It can be condensed into three major pillars before we scale the pyramid. Number 1, to bring desired changes in student behavior. This is the ultimate goal. True learning is reflected in a change of behavior, perspective, and attitude. If a student walks out of a classroom with the exact mindset they walked in with, teaching has not truly occurred. Acquisition of knowledge and skills. This is the functional side, equipping learners with the factual data, technical expertise, and cognitive tools they need to navigate their subjects. Number three, to foster creativity and independence. Good teaching does not create clones, it creates independent thinkers. The goal is to spark creativity so students can solve problems on their own without holding a teacher's hand forever. This brings us to the objective number four, that is Bloom's taxonomy. So, what is it? It is a hierarchy of learning objectives designed to promote deeper understanding and critical thinking. Instead of looking at learning as a flat landscape, Benjamin Bloom and his later revisers structured it as a pyramid. NTL loves to ask you to arrange these levels from lowest to highest cognitive complexity. Let's scale it together from the bottom up. Level 1. Remember, this is the most basic tier. It's all about rote learning, recalling facts, dates, and basic concepts. For example, memorizing a maths formula. Number 2. Understand. Moving a step up, this is where you can actually explain ideas and concepts in your own words rather than just repeating them. Number 3. Apply. This is where things get practical. Can you use that information in new situations or solve a real world problem? Number 4. Analyze. Here you start breaking information down. You draw connection among ideas, identify patterns, and distinguish between fact and opinion. Number 5. Evaluate. This is a high-level cognitive domain where you justify a stand, critique a theory, or make a decision based on specific criteria. Number 6. Create. The ultimate pinnacle of learning. This is where you produce new or original work, design a fresh framework, or build something entirely unique using everything you have learned. When you sit for your paper 1 exam, keep this pyramid firmly planted in your mind. Remember the sequence. Remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. So this slide takes the previous discussion on Bloom's taxonomy to the next level by comparing the original versus revised cognitive domain and introducing the other two vital pillars, the affective and psychomotor domains. To associate these, you can use your bodily organs like the head, heart, and hand concept. If you look at Benjamin Bloom's complete classification system in the image, education is actually divided into three distinct domains, the cognitive, the affective, and the psychomotor. First, let's look at the cognitive domain, which deals with our head or thinking process. If you look at the infographic in the slide, there is a massive shift between the original 1956 version by Benjamin Bloom and the later revised one in 2001. Look at how the terms change from nouns to verbs and notice how the top two levels switch places. In 1956, that is the earlier one, it went from knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation, with evaluation at the absolute top. In 2001, that is the revised one, it shifted to active verbs, remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating, with creating taking the crown at the peak. Make sure you note down that synthesis became creating and moved to the very top while evaluation dropped to step 5. As the image states, from remembering to creating, the journey of thinking leads to deeper learning. Now let's shift to the second pillar, the affective domain, which represents the heart of our feelings, attitudes, and emotions. Learning isn't successful if it doesn't change your values. From lowest to highest hierarchy, the 5 stages are receiving, being willing to listen and pay attention. Number 2, responding, actively participating and reacting to the learning. Number 3, valuing, attaching internal worth or commitment to a value or concept. Number 4, organizing, prioritizing and integrating different values into your own life system, resolving conflicts between them. Number 5, characterizing, internalizing those values completely so they dictate how you act consistently. Finally, we have the third pillar, the psychomotor domain, which stands for the hand or physical or motor skills. This is where physical coordination and muscle memory come into play. Let's trace its hierarchy from lowest to highest. Number 1, imitation, observing a skill and copying the action. Number 2, manipulation, performing that action independently under guidance or instructions. Number 3, precision, performing the skill with a high degree of accuracy and control without needing help. Number 4, articulation, coordinating and adapting multiple skills together smoothly. Number 5, naturalization, performing the skill completely, automatically, and naturally, like riding a bicycle without thinking about balance. So, this slide addresses the requirements of teaching, breaking down the highly testable core variables of teaching. Now, let's discuss the four domains of teacher competence. Number 1, cognitive domain. It refers to the knowledge of the subject matter and pedagogical methods. For here, you have to have strong subject matter knowledge. Number 2, understanding of pedagogical methods. And number 3, critical thinking and problem solving skills. Number 2, affective domain. It refers to empathy, patience, and the attitude towards students. You have to have empathy and understanding and positivity towards the student. You have to respect and encourage their attitude in a positive way. Number 3, psychomotor domain. It refers to communication skills, classroom management, and presentation techniques. Number 4, sociocultural domain. It refers to the ability to understand and respect diverse student backgrounds. Now comes the requirements of teaching. So you can see that the core variables of teaching are dependent variable, and intervening variable. We will look at the three core variables of teaching and the five fundamental requirements for effective education. Number 1, the independent variable, which is basically the teacher. Why is the teacher independent? Because the teacher is the planner, organizer, and controller of the learning experience. The teacher is the one who actively brings knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values into the classroom. They manipulate the environment to ensure learning happens. Number 2, the dependent variable, the learner. The student is the dependent variable because their behavior changes as a result of the teaching. They depend on the framework, guidance, and structure provided by the independent variable, which is the teacher. Number 3, the intervening variable, which is the curriculum. What stands between the teacher and the learner? Of course, the curriculum. It acts as a bridge including the subject matter, textbook, teaching methods, and instructional materials. It intervenes to facilitate the interaction between the independent and dependent variables. Now that we know the variables, what are the fundamental requirements to make this system successful? Number 1, teacher's mastery over the subject. You cannot teach what you do not know. A deep and thorough understanding of your subject builds your confidence as an educator and your credibility with your students. Number 2, knowledge of pedagogy. Subject knowledge isn't enough. You must know how to teach it. Understanding teaching methods, child or adult psychology, and classroom management ensures learning is effective. Number 3, effective communication skills. Teaching is entirely dominated by communication. Clear, fluent, and empathetic communication inspires understanding and bridges gap. Number 4, teachers' readiness and motivation. Learning is a two-way street. The participants must be prepared, motivated, and actively engaged for the information to stick. Number 5, a conducive learning environment. Finally, you need the right space, a safe, supportive, and stimulating environment, whether physical or digital, nurtures growth and keeps distraction a bit away. Now, if we look at past year UGC NET papers, there is one topic, that is the levels of teaching. Think about it. We don't learn everything the same way. Sometimes we just memorize a phone number, sometimes we try to grasp a complex theory, and other times we critically analyze a massive real world problem. Let's start at the foundational base of our pyramid, the memory level. The key proponent you must remember for your exam is Harvard. This is the most basic, least thoughtful level of teaching. Here, the key focus includes it runs primarily on rote learning. The main goal here is the retention, recall, and recognition of facts and information. Think of multiplication tables or historical dates during your school era. Here, the role of the teacher is highly dominant and authoritarian, while the student's role is completely passive. Evaluation methods. How do we test memory level learning? As the slide itself highlights that for the evaluation methods, we use oral test, multiple choice questions, and traditional written exams focused on direct recall. Moving up a step, we reach the understanding level. The master proponent behind this is Morrison. Unlike the memory level, this is a thoughtful teaching stage. The focus shifts from merely repeating facts to building insights, seeing patterns, and truly grasping the underlying meanings of concepts. It's the difference between memorizing a formula and knowing why it works. The teacher is still leading the class but acts more like a coordinator. The student's role becomes much more active and engaged. To test understanding, you can't just use simple true false questions. We rely on essay type questions, comprehensive explanations, short answers, case analysis, and concept maps to see if the student can articulate the ideas. Finally, we reach the ultimate peak of the pyramid, that is the reflective level. The pioneer of this level is Hunt. This is a highly thoughtful, introspective, and critical stage of education. The absolute focus here is developing problem solving capabilities, original thinking, and creative abilities. Students learn to look at a situation, critique it, and devise their own solution. The classroom environment changes completely. The teacher's role becomes highly democratic and supportive, while the student's role transforms into being completely active, self motivated, and independent. Because this level is all about original thought, traditional exams won't cut it. Evaluation methods include research papers, thesis evaluation, seminars, presentation, group discussion, and long term projects. When you look at this entire structure, it perfectly maps out how a mind develops. To summarize it, from facts, we build understanding. From understanding, we build wisdom. If this step by step breakdown of teaching aptitude helps you in understanding, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment below.